The rain hammered against the windows of David's apartment on Station Kepler 442, a human colony outpost on the edge of the Andromeda Gateway. He sat hunched over his workbench, soldering circuits for the mining drones that kept this remote station functional. It was past midnight, and the only sounds were the hiss of his soldering iron and the rhythmic patter of synthetic rain, the station's weather system mimicking Earth to keep the human settlers sane. Then came the knock. David froze. Nobody knocked at this hour. Nobody knocked on his door at all, really. He was the station's maintenance engineer, the guy people called when their air recyclers failed, not someone they visited socially. The knock came again, softer this time, almost hesitant. Setting down his tools, David approached the door and checked the scanner. The screen showed a small figure, barely 4 feet tall, wrapped in what looked like tattered cloth. A child, out here. He opened the door. The creature that looked up at him was definitely not human. Large, luminous eyes, violet with flecks of silver, dominated a delicate face covered in fine, pearlescent scales that shimmered even in the dim corridor light. 4 slender fingers clutched the ragged cloak around thin shoulders. The child was shivering, and a faint blue bioluminescence pulsed beneath the scales in patterns David recognized from intelligence briefings. Zanari physiology. The Zanari Empire. The same empire that had declared humanity an infestation and had been systematically pushing human colonies out of contested space for the past decade. "Please," the child whispered in heavily accented but understandable standard, "hide me." David's combat training from his military days screamed at him to slam the door, to call security, to do anything but what he did next. Instead, he stepped aside. "Get in quickly." The child darted inside with surprising speed, and David sealed the door behind her. Now that she was in better light, he could see she was injured. A dark purple substance, probably blood, stained her side. Her breathing came in short, pained gasps. "What's your name?" David asked, kneeling to her level, his voice deliberately calm. "Anna," she said. "My name is Anna." "Okay, Anna, I'm David. Let me see that wound." She flinched but allowed him to gently move aside the cloth. The injury was bad, a plasma burn by the looks of it, and infected. His medical training, limited as it was, told him she needed proper treatment soon. "Who did this to you?" "The hunters," Anna whispered, her eyes darting to the door. "They're looking for me. They can't know I'm here. They can't know a human helped me." "Why are they hunting you?" Anna's luminescence flickered in what David somehow understood was distress. "Because I exist. Because my mother loved someone she shouldn't have. Because I'm proof of her shame." Before David could press further, his comm unit chirped. He activated it, and the gruff voice of Station Chief Morrison filled the room. "All personnel be advised. Zanari diplomatic vessel has docked. They're conducting a search for a fugitive, some kind of royal runaway. Full cooperation is mandatory per the Kepler Accords. Anyone harboring or assisting this fugitive will be charged with treaty violations. Morrison out." David looked at Anna, whose eyes had gone wide with terror. The pieces clicked together in his mind. Royal runaway, princess. The shame she mentioned. She wasn't just any Zanari child, she was royalty, and someone wanted her gone. "Your mother," David said slowly. "She's Zanari royalty." Anna nodded. "Princess Shavara. She fell in love with someone from a species the Empire considers inferior. When I was born. Wrong. They wanted to eliminate the evidence. My mother hid me for years, but they found out. She sent me away to protect me." "And you knocked on a random door on a human station." "The coordinates she gave me were wrong, or I input them wrong, I don't know. I was supposed to reach a sanctuary. Instead, I found you." David ran a hand through his hair. This was insane. Harboring a Zanari princess while her people searched for her could start an interstellar incident, could get him executed, could get the entire station sanctioned. But as he looked at this terrified child, bleeding and alone, he thought of his own daughter back on Earth, thought of what he'd want someone to do if she was in danger. "All right," he said, standing up, "here's what we're going to do." Over the next hour, David worked with the focused intensity that had made him one of the best combat engineers in the human defense fleet. He treated Anna's wound with what medical supplies he had, improvising a cellular regenerator from spare parts and a medical scanner. The Xanari and human physiologies were different, but carbon-based life had enough commonalities that he could manage. "Why are you helping me?" Anna asked as he worked. "Your people and mine are enemies." "Your empire and my government are enemies," David corrected. "You're just a kid who needs help. That's all that matters." "The hunters won't see it that way. If they find you help me, they'll kill you, slowly." David smiled grimly. "Then we better make sure they don't find out." His comm chirped again. The Xanari search teams were going door to door, checking every residence. They'd be here in 20 minutes. David activated the hidden compartment he'd built into his apartment, a holdover from his military paranoia, designed to hide weapons or contraband during inspections. It was small, shielded against most scanners, and had its own air supply. "You'll need to hide in here," he said, showing Anna the cramped space beneath the floor panels. She looked at it and back at him. "If they use a quantum resonance scanner, they'll find me anyway. Those can detect Xanari biosignatures through any shielding." "Do they have one with them?" "The Royal Guard always carries them." David thought quickly. Quantum resonance scanners worked by detecting the unique electromagnetic patterns of Xanari neural tissue. But if he could disrupt that pattern, mask it with something else. He grabbed a portable generator from his workshop and modified it on the fly, his hands moving with practiced precision. He created an electromagnetic field that would flood the room with random neural pattern noise, essentially creating static that would hide Anna's signature. "This is brilliant," Anna said, watching him work. "How do you know our technology well enough to counter it?" "I spent 3 years studying captured Xanari equipment during the border conflicts. Know your enemy and all that." He activated the field. "But I never thought I'd use that knowledge to save one of you." The knock came exactly 20 minutes later, hard and authoritative. David opened the door to find 3 Xanari warriors, their ceremonial armor gleaming, plasma rifles held ready. Behind them stood a taller figure in elegant robes, a diplomat or high-ranking official. "Human David Chen?" the robed figure asked, his standard perfect and cold. "That's me. We are searching for a dangerous fugitive. We have authorization to search all quarters. Step aside." David complied, watching as the warriors swept through his small apartment with professional efficiency. One activated a handheld device, the quantum resonance scanner. David's heart hammered, but his face remained neutral. The scanner beeped and whirred, showing readings all across the spectrum. The warrior frowned, adjusting the settings. More beeps, more static. "The electromagnetic interference in this sector is too high," the warrior reported. "The scanner cannot get a clear reading." The robed official turned his penetrating gaze on David. "You work with electromagnetic equipment." "I'm the station's maintenance engineer. Generators, power conduits, drone charging stations. I've got equipment running all the time." The official studied him for a long moment, and David met his gaze without flinching. Years of poker games with his military buddies had taught him how to lie with his face. "Very well," the official finally said. "If you see anything suspicious, you are required to report it immediately. The penalty for harboring the fugitive is death." "Understood." They left, and David waited a full 10 minutes before releasing Anna from her hiding spot. She emerged, trembling but unharmed. "They'll search the station for days," David said. "We need a long-term plan." Over the next week, David worked on that plan. He reached out to old military contacts, called in favors, and eventually connected with an underground network that specialized in relocating refugees from various conflicts. They called themselves the Sanctuary Chain, and they had been operating in secret for years. Anna stayed hidden in his apartment, and during that time, something unexpected happened. They talked. She told him about her mother's forbidden love affair with a human diplomat, how she'd been born as a symbol of that love and immediately became a political liability. She spoke of a culture that valued genetic purity above all else, where anything different was seen as weakness. David told her about Earth, about his daughter Maria who was about her age, about the human belief that diversity made them stronger, not weaker. He told her about the human quality that had let them punch above their weight in galactic politics, stubbornness combined with compassion. Humanity, fuck yeah, he explained one night, teaching her the phrase. It's what we say when we do something the universe says we can't, when we survive against impossible odds, when we help someone everyone says we should abandon. Like helping me, Anna said softly. Exactly like helping you. The extraction came on the 8th day. A smuggler's ship, captained by a grizzled human woman named Tors, docked under the guise of delivering mining equipment. Anna would be hidden in a shielded cargo container and taken to a neutral world where the Sanctuary Chain operated. As they prepared to say goodbye, Anna took David's hand in her four-fingered grip. Why did you really do this? She asked. Truth. David knelt down to her level one last time. Because you knocked on the wrong door and I happen to be human. And humans, we have this annoying habit of helping people who need it, even when it's stupid, even when it's dangerous. It's what makes us. Us. Anna's bioluminescence pulsed in a pattern he'd learned meant gratitude. When I'm older, when I'm safe, I'll remember. I'll remember that a human named David showed me there's another way, that not all species see difference as weakness. You be safe, Princess Anna. Change your empire from the inside if you can, and if you can't, change yourself and everyone you meet. She nodded and disappeared into the cargo container. Months later, David received an encrypted message through channels so secure he didn't even know they existed. It was a single image, Anna, healthy and smiling, standing in a garden on some distant world. Beneath it, 2 words in standard. Humanity, fuck yeah. David smiled and deleted the message, but the image stayed burned in his memory. Somewhere out there, a young princess who knocked on the wrong door was learning that sometimes the universe's biggest mistakes led to its best outcomes. And it had all started because a human opened a door when everyone said he should have kept it closed.